We can pray or visit it like a normal church. It's the most prestigious monument of the city of Narbonne. It's a Gothic church which, if it had been finished, would have been one of the biggest European cathedrals. It is situated in the city centre of Narbonne. Je me pose.
It started to be built in 18th century thanks to the architect Jean Deschamps, but it was never finished, finished and it is still in renovation. It is the first heighted vault of France. There are 14,100 meters under the vault, so it's a very height.
This monument is called Les Trois Nourrices. It owes its name to the women's statues on the window and because a hotel nearby was called the Three Kings. It was built in 1558. It was an inn at first and then it became a luxury mansion during the Renaissance. It was been classified historical monument since 1930. In the photo there is a stained glass windows with statues.
That's a museum in Narbonne. In this museum there are lots of objects from the Roman times.
It was built in 1889 by the Archaeological and Literary Commission of Narbonne. In the ceiling you can see Roman pictures. The monument we are going to talk about was an old priory in Narbonne. During the Revolution, the convent was abandoned. The buildings were used as military barracks, which were destroyed in 1902. Nowadays, it only remains the church, which is called Notre-Dame de la Moriée. It was built in 8th century and rebuilt in the 13th century.
The Mass isn't celebrated there anymore. It is now a lapidary and it contains actions sculpted elements taken from the ramparts around Narbonne during its demolition. There is a car park around this church.
Le palais des archevêques consists of various towers. Gilles Iselin's keep built from the 13th to the 14th century, St. Martial's Tower, de la Madolene's Tower. There is also the old palace of Roman origin and the new Gothic palace from the 17th to the 18th century. In this monument we can visit the Museum of Arts, the Town Hall and the Archaeological Museum. It's located in the city center of Narbonne. There we can have coffee and do shopping. We can see on the photo on the left one of the tower of the Palais des Archevêques.
This photo shows a waterway. Its name is Robin Waterway, but in French we say Le Canal de la Robine. This waterway was built in 1686 by Vauban. It measures 32 kilometers. It allows to join Odd River by the Junction Waterway. It was built in 1776 for business. In this photo there are boats, trees, water, lol.
The Hall of Narbonne is a covered market. In this monument we can find shops like bakeries, fishmongers, butchers, florists, pizzerias, grill room, bars and a lot of other shops. This monument is famous because all the products are fresh and of great quality, also because the environment is so cool. This monument is situated in the city center of Narbonne, next to the waterway called Canal de la Robine. It was built in the 20th century. There is a big clock above the entrance.
It was an ancient road which linked Italy and Spain for commercial purpose. Its name is Via Domitia. It was made in 118 before Christ by a Roman general. On the photo we can see stars.
The Orion dates back to the 1st century before Christ. It was built by Cicerone. There you can see underground galleries that were part of a warehouse and were used to stock grain, wine, and oil. During the Roman times, above there used to be a market.
Narbonne plage is the beautiful beach where we can swim and sunbathe. It's by the Mediterranean Sea, so the water is rather warm in summer. There are lots of shows and markets in summer too. This seaside resort was built around 1950 by Louis Madol.
It was an old Roman neighborhood of Narbonne. Today there are only ruins left, but now it's an archaeological site and we can walk around to visit it. It was built in 118 before Christ by the Romans. In the photo you can see an old thermal bath.
Charles Trenet lived in this house from 1913 until his death in 2001. In the house of Charles Trenet, you can see how the crazy singer grew up and lived. He wrote and sang very famous songs such as Douce France, La Mer, or Y'a de la joie. In front of the house with green shutters there is a statue of Charles.
The Mediathèque is a cultural center in Narbonne. The Mediathèque is a modern space in the city center. In the Mediathèque we can read books, novels, comics, magazines, etc. We can go on the web and use the computer, and we can work in silence inside. It was built in September 2002 by the architects Albrecht Lajus CPU. The Mediathèque is a big monument which and has theater and a cinema room too. There is a pedestrian crossing in front of the building.
It was built in September 2002 by the architect Albrecht Lajus CPU. The Mediathèque is a big monument with the theater and the cinema room too. There is a pedestrian crossing in front of the building.
Le Palais de Justice was built on the old lands of Oenologic Station of Narbonne. The building is organized around the axis of transparency that fits in morphology of the plot.
It's a recent construction. It was built in 1996 by the architect Frédéric Borel. There is a round board on the boulevard in front of the Palais de Justice.